Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. Thank you for listening. I am Mark, and I have got a weird sci-fi film to talk about. It premiered at the Mammoth Film Festival last week, Mammoth, California, and it's called The Abandon. And let me just read you the synopsis, and we'll jump off from there, shall we? U.S. soldier Miles Willis is shot and wounded during an intense firefight in Iraq. As he tries to radio for help, a sudden blinding light surrounds him and he awakens to find himself trapped in a strange, colorless cube with nothing inside but his own combat gear. As time passes, the cube begins to change, fluctuating extreme temperatures, random shifts of gravity, and strange writing appearing on the walls. His only communication is with one person, a mystery woman who calls him on his satellite phone, claiming to be trapped in a similar space. As the clock ticks, the two of them must figure out who has them, why they were taken, and how to escape. Now, basically it's two-person cast. You have a couple extras at the beginning when he's in having his firefight, but that's it. Then we get him in the box, and yes, every so often, the box will begin to roll. There's no doors, there's no windows. It's just this gray box, and it'll flip over and roll around and hurt himself and whatnot. But then, like, his gear will wind up stuck to the ceiling, and he'll be on the bottom, and he can't reach it because it's too big. Eventually, he gets to the phone after a couple of those shifts, and he winds up getting a call from this woman, and they try to figure out what's going on. This is. Oh, it's evocative of a lot of other science fiction that you may have seen. I'm not going to try to name them all for you, but I like the premise of this. I love a good science fiction film. I love a good low-budget science fiction film, and this is pretty low budget, all things told. Now, as a former military guy, I did love the fact that guy was in Iraq, in a firefight, and no one will understand this unless you understand what I'm about to say. He was wearing the chocolate chip BDUs, or desert camo, which I thought was a great touch. And I was like, well, that's an odd callback. And later on, we figure out why he's wearing that particular uniform, because it is very accurate considering what this movie is. So, there is the science fiction element of being trapped in a box that moves and gravity shifting, weird communication, things appearing, disappearing. There's the mystery aspect in determining who is doing all of this and why this is being done. As the movie progressed, I wanted to like it more and more. And as the rationale for everything developed, I began to like the movie not less, but not more. I think it, in many ways, tried to overthink the solution to its premise, which is going to sound weird when I say that the ultimate solution is very simple and hopeful, but the road that they take to get there is very complex and very over-engineered, if you will. There are a lot of moving pieces to get you to a very simple place. In that aspect, it is kind of reminiscent of Cube, if you remember that original film before its 37 spin-offs. But this is not without its charms. Although I do hold the very ending of it against it, in that it is one of those films that clearly sets itself up for a sequel, and I don't know that it earned that right. And so that is one thing that I really hate, is when filmmakers assume that they're going to make another one, which based on how this ends, is not going to be a small indie 1/2 person cast film. It would be a production, and I do not know that this film has earned that right to go on and make a sequel to it. I believe it would have been better served with a slightly different ending, but with the same solution, but with a slightly different epilogue. So that is where I am at on The Abandon. It was written by Jason Satterlund. It stars, it was directed by Jason Satterlund. It was stars Jonathan Rosenthal and Tamara Perry as the voice of the young lady on the other end of the line. Written by Dwain Worrell. So, yeah, not yet rated. 96 minutes long. I will tell you to watch it, given the caveat that I did have issues with the way its solution developed and the way that was portrayed, and that epilogue of possible desired sequel-dom. But other than that, I like the concept. I really did. I enjoyed the concept. I liked the character. I liked a lot of that setup. There's a lot of good stuff in The Abandon. So that is where I will leave that. Thanks for listening. I've got a ton more of these to do. Ryan and I will be back. We've got a few more big releases coming up, including eventually Robert Pattinson in The Batman, which we are really looking forward to. We have Uncharted next week. We have a lot of good stuff coming. So make sure you stay around. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. We're at VS Movie Podcast. If you're on YouTube, Visually Stunning Movie Podcast, subscribe to us there. That would be awesome. Like us, share us with your friends. You know all of that. You are very intelligent people. So until we get back to you next time, stay safe, be good, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.